It's normal to be concerned about losing someone you care about. However, if you're constantly worried that people may leave you, even though there's no proof that they might, you may be experiencing fear of abandonment. Now, human interactions can be a very emotional journey. Understanding how you behave in relationships with others has a significant influence on how happy and comfortable you are in your life. The fear of abandonment is a complicated phenomenon that can arise from a number of issues during our growth as a person. Reasons why fear of abandonment happens include problems in the normal development of specific mental and emotional skills, difficulties with previous relationships, and other negative personal situations. Though it's not officially considered a phobia, the fear of abandonment is perhaps one of the most frequent anxieties we might face in our lives. Inadequate and inappropriate response to this emotional issue might actually result in this fear becoming real, because this irrational behavior can actually push people away from you, and as a result, it can cause severe consequences. Now, fear of abandonment can affect different people at different levels. Some of us fear we might be rejected by our friends, or a new company, or a school, and others are paralyzed by the thought that their loved one might leave them. The scope of this abandonment anxiety is wide, but it essentially boils down to this simple definition. Fear of abandonment is the overwhelming fear that someone you care about is going to leave and never come back. This idea of losing someone you love can be emotionally crippling, so before we dive into the potential ways of dealing with this problem, let us look at where the fear of abandonment comes from. Abandonment issues are typically founded in traumatizing events from our childhood, including, for example, loss or grief. This might involve the death of a family member, or the experience of your parents getting a divorce, or simply being neglected as a child and not having adequate emotional support. Likewise, when we grow up and mature, fear of abandonment can occur as a result of breaking up with your partner, or divorcing your spouse, or someone close to you dying, or simply by being betrayed by someone you love. The basis for fear of abandonment can be established during childhood, but it often doesn't appear until the person is grown and living in the world on their own, without the support of adults or parents. So, it's important to understand that a person cannot seek help for their abandonment anxiety issues unless they are aware of the signs of this mental condition. Which brings us to our next section, which is the signs of the fear of abandonment. Adults who are afraid of abandonment may exhibit the following signs. Running through relationships. You might jump into a number of relationships while at the same time being afraid of becoming intimate with someone and looking for excuses to leave the relationship before the other person does. Holding on to harmful relationships. You may often stick to relationships which you know are not good for your health simply because you dread the idea of being alone. Sabotaging your relationships. As a sort of a defense mechanism, you may act impulsively just to get out of a relationship by intentionally pushing your partner away before they even have a chance to leave you. This can be accomplished by you causing a fight or blaming them for something they haven't done or being dishonest with them, and so forth. Seeking reassurance all the time. You may continuously demand reassurance from your lovers or people close to you, expecting emotional promises such as "I will always love you" or "I'll never leave you," and then blame them for lying because you claim to know that everyone runs away from you in the end. Additional signs of the fear of abandonment include failing to fully commit to a relationship, being hypersensitive to criticism, fear of intimacy, being in a relationship even if it's bad for you, working too hard to please the other person, etc. These signs can become so strong that there is hardly anything anybody can do to comfort the individual dealing with these fears. However, for anyone struggling with this problem, addressing these symptoms should be the first and foremost step towards healing and becoming a satisfied individual. So finally, let us take a look at 4 major strategies for coping with fear of abandonment. Strategy number 1. Identify the source of your fear. The solution to overcoming the fear of abandonment is to pinpoint the source of this anxiety. The first stage in conquering any fear is to recognize why you think and feel this way, and you can accomplish this on your own or through counseling. In order to figure this out, you may need to deal with grief over the things that have slipped away from you in the past, the things you have lost, but also comprehend what you felt about these issues then and how you feel about them now. Understanding more about yourself can help you discover how your fear of abandonment influences your thoughts and behavior, and as a result, your relationships. Although trying to identify the sources of your fear is frequently a part of therapy, you may also practice it on your own by, for example, keeping a journal of your emotions and the circumstances that may be creating them. Studying information about attachment theory and analyzing which type of attachment you might have developed. Or simply create a memo book or a reference guide to pinpoint the events that might be triggering your fear of abandonment, so you can be mentally prepared for such issues in the future. Strategy number 2. Practice self-care. Self-care can help you feel more confident in yourself, especially if you're battling with low self-esteem. People should be kind to themselves rather than critical. Now, this is easier said than done, and it takes a lot of focus, willpower, and time to get to a point where people can have a positive, accepting view of themselves and their issues. However, finally reaching this point of self-acceptance will make you more resilient when facing any adversity in the future. Even if we have been mistreated or abandoned by others in the past, we can and should still treat ourselves a little bit better. Strategy number 3. Talk to people you care about and who care about you. Talk to your loved ones about your fear of abandonment. Even if they only provide some sort of support or comfort you by telling you that they will not leave, you will at least receive some type of response, which will also signal to the people who care about you that you're currently in some form of distress. Because fear of abandonment is usually not something an individual can overcome on their own. More often than not, it takes the assistance of mental health specialists, including the support of close friends and family members, to help the person confront these issues. And strategy number 4. Therapy. Depending on the gravity of your fear and the way it's affecting your life, seeking professional guidance can be crucial. Therapy is probably the most important and most effective strategy for anyone suffering from the fear of abandonment, because mental health experts understand better than anyone else how to help in such cases. A good therapist can help you identify and address your abandonment anxieties by helping you improve your emotional management skills. Learn about your attachment style and how it affects your relationships. Discover how to build reliable connections with other people. Recover from trauma or childhood events that might have intensified your fears, and so on. Professional support can help in multiple ways and allow you to genuinely change your thoughts and behaviors. So don't hesitate to reach out to someone qualified to deal with these issues. Whatever your decision may be, finding the right approach and assistance will significantly increase your likelihood of overcoming this problem. We've reached the end of another video. Hopefully you found it useful. And if that's the case, please take a brief moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell for all new videos that come out. Thank you so much for watching, stay safe, and see you next time.